Hey there, lovely listeners. I'm so thrilled that you're joining me today. You know, in this era of hyperconnectedness and the always-on culture, the notion of work-life balance has never been more crucial, yet it remains a constant struggle for many. In today's episode, we're going to dive deep into the importance of this balance, the problems we face in achieving it, and the practical steps to attain it. And trust me, you won't want to miss this. So let's dive right in.
It's the way you make me feel so good, feel so good right now. It's the way you make me feel so good.
Welcome to your podcast, where we teeter on the edge of chaos and calm, work and play, and everything else that life throws our way. I'm your host, Nestle, bringing you insights and stories that matter in your pursuit of that elusive work life.
Welcome to Self-Care and Hustle Podcast, where your journey to becoming your best version begins. If you're ready to live your best life and find your inner peace, you've come to the right place, giving you insights on all life tips and purpose-driven actions to move you from where you are now to where you want to go. You can do this. This is me, Nestle Poliente, your host. Are you ready? Now let's dive in.
Typical Monday morning. Your alarm clock jolts you awake with its relentless beeping. As you groggily swipe the snooze button, you think of the mountain of work waiting for you. With a sigh, you rise and start your day, already feeling the weight of responsibilities on your shoulders. Before breakfast, you're checking work emails. You inhale your food while drafting responses and planning your day. You're mentally present at work, even before you've left your house. And then it's a blur of meetings, deadlines, and problem solving. By the time you get home, you're drained. You hardly have the energy to interact with your family, much less pursue a hobby or unwind with a good book. You go to bed knowing that you'll have to do it all over again tomorrow. It's an exhausting, never-ending cycle, isn't it? This, my friends, is a scenario far too common in our society today. It's a reflection of the imbalance many of us experience between our professional commitments and personal life, between our ambitions and well-being, and it's something we all need to address urgently. So let's start by getting our definitions straight. What do we mean when we talk about work-life balance? It's messy and unpredictable. Work-life balance, then, is not about achieving an impossible perfect equilibrium, but rather it's about finding a sustainable harmony between different aspects of life. It's about ensuring that work doesn't overshadow or eradicate time for self-care, family, and leisure activities, which are equally crucial for overall well-being. Research has shown time and time again the importance of maintaining this balance. According to a study by the Harvard Business School, failure to achieve work-life balance is linked to a plethora of health issues, including fatigue, depression, anxiety, cardiovascular disease, and even impaired immune function. But it's not just about health. An imbalance can also negatively impact our relationships, our productivity, and our overall quality of life. So let's delve into these areas a bit further. Let's start with health. When we're overworked, we're more likely to skip meals, exercise less, and not get enough sleep. We might feel like we're getting things done, but in reality, we're setting ourselves up for burnout, a state of chronic physical and emotional exhaustion. And burnout is not just about feeling tired, it can have serious, long-term effects on our health. A study published in The Lancet found that individuals who work more than 55 hours per week have a 33% increased risk of stroke and a 13% increased risk of coronary heart disease compared to those working standard hours. That's some serious food for thought, isn't it? Next up, relationships. We've all heard the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. Well, the same goes for our relationships. When we're constantly drained from work, it leaves us with little energy to invest in our relationships. In fact, a survey by the American Psychological Association showed that nearly 50% of employed adults report missing out on important family events due to work, and 40% say that work interferes with their ability to fulfill family or household responsibilities. Our relationships are the cornerstone of our personal lives. They offer us emotional support, love, and a sense of belonging. But when work takes up too much space in our lives, these vital connections suffer. Ironically, working more does not necessarily equate to getting more done. It's a concept known as the law of diminishing returns. Initially, as we put in more hours at work, our output increases. But there comes a point where our productivity begins to decline. According to a Stanford University study, productivity per hour declines sharply when a person works more than 50 hours a week. After 55 hours, productivity drops so much that putting in any more hours would be pointless. Essentially, we could be working less, yet getting more done, if we just allow ourselves to find that balance. So, we've understood why this balance is vital. But why is it so elusive? Why do so many of us struggle to achieve this harmony between work and life? The reasons are manifold: the rise of technology, societal expectations, the increasing demands of the workplace, and even our own internal pressure to succeed. Let's start with technology. Now don't get me wrong, I love technology. It makes our lives easier in so many ways. But when it comes to work-life balance, it can often feel like a double-edged sword. Smartphones, laptops, and a myriad of apps have blurred the boundaries between our personal and professional lives. We're constantly connected, always reachable. It's no longer unusual to check work emails at the dinner table or take a call during a family outing. We're essentially carrying our workplaces in our pockets, and this constant connectivity can make it incredibly hard to disconnect and truly switch off from work. Another key challenge is societal expectations and workplace culture. Many societies and industries glorify overwork. The idea of being busy has become a status symbol. Working long hours is often seen as a sign of commitment and ambition, and those who seek a better work-life balance are sometimes seen as less dedicated or driven. This can create a toxic work culture where employees feel pressured to work longer, often at the expense of their personal lives and well-being. Finally, let's talk about the pressure we put on ourselves. Sometimes we are our own worst enemies. We set high expectations for ourselves, driven by the desire to succeed, to be the best, to do it all. And often, we're willing to sacrifice our own well-being in the pursuit of these goals. It's important to recognize and acknowledge this internal pressure. Only then can we begin to address it and take steps towards a more balanced life. Alright, so we've unpacked the problems, and it may seem a bit daunting. But here's the good news: achieving a better work-life balance is not an insurmountable task. It involves making intentional choices and taking small, consistent steps towards change. Here are a few strategies that can help. First and foremost, set boundaries. In a world where we're constantly connected, this is more important than ever. Decide when you'll stop checking emails or taking work calls and stick to it. Establish a clear line between your work and personal time and respect it. Next, prioritize self-care. This is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Make time for exercise, healthy meals, and plenty of sleep. These are the foundations of good health and will give you the energy and resilience to handle both work and personal challenges. Learn to delegate and say no. You don't have to do everything yourself. If a task can be effectively completed by someone else, delegate it. And learn to say no. You have a limited amount of time and energy, and it's crucial to ensure it's being spent on things that truly matter. Make time for your relationships. Spend quality time with your loved ones. These connections are a vital source of happiness and support, and they deserve to be prioritized. Seek flexibility in your work wherever possible. This might mean negotiating a flexible schedule or working from home occasionally. When we have more control over our time, it becomes much easier to balance our various responsibilities. As we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with a final thought. Achieving a perfect work-life balance is not a one-time goal, it's an ongoing process. It requires self-awareness, intentional choices, and the courage to make changes when needed. As we navigate through this journey, let's remember to be gentle with ourselves. Progress, not perfection, is the aim. And every step we take towards a more balanced life is a step worth celebrating. Thanks for tuning in. If you found value in this episode, please share it with a friend or leave us a review. And remember to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, take care, and remember, balance is not something you find, it's something you create.
I was worried you blowed my reputation, but I figured it's not on me. Yeah. The way you're making me shiver, your hands on myself, I keep pulling the trigger. Right, this red finger for people like them. Oh no. But darling, on my mind, I'm feeling so fly up in the zone now. I'm like a golden crown, whirling high up in the sky. Oh, it's the way you make me feel so good right now. It's the way you make me feel so good. Oh.
Thanks for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive into all the tips you can use to becoming your best self. To catch all the latest from me, follow me on Instagram and support me by considering buying me a coffee. Link is in the description. And make sure to chill out, listen to your favorite music, and drink your water. See you in my next episode.